All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Brittany Purcell. Some of you know me, some of you don't know me or haven't met me yet. And so I will give you a little bit of an introduction here before we get started. I got my real estate license in 2007. So at the height of the Great Recession, or the beginning of it. And I've built my career through that recession, and I built it on short sales and foreclosures and first-time home buyers. And then when all of that went away, we had to shift with the market and change and move with it. And then it changed again when COVID hit, and we had to adapt there. And we find ourselves in another moment in the market now where things are shifting and changing yet again, which is kind of, change is inevitable, right? Except from a vending machine. That's the joke. And so change is going to be around no matter what. Those of us who jump in and we expect ourselves to be adaptable, to change and to shift with the moment, those are the ones that are going to stick around and make this a really great career. So I don't know who all I have on the call today. If you are not licensed yet, would you please throw a comment in the chat? I'm assuming that most everybody, I recognize a lot of the names here, so I think everybody's licensed, and that just helps me gear the conversation towards who's listening today. So as of today, I run a team with 18 agents on it. And I also help run a property management company that has over 240 doors. So I know how to run a business. I know how to run real estate. I know how to find business. I know how to work the business. I know how to navigate these markets and these waters, and to sell a lot of houses. So the reason I put this together is we're changing, the market is changing. And I keep hearing over and over again from people who things were working over the past 2 years and suddenly things stopped. It was about June or July when things stopped. So if you were already working with people, you got those people under contract. You may have had a decent June or July. August sucked. And I can tell you, like, with a large team that does about 200 to 250 transactions, we really felt it. So you're not alone. We felt it too. The difference is, what are we doing to change it? And how are we handling it? So I'm going to go through some slides with you guys. And let me just get it pulled up here. I don't have any new, oops, I did not mean to pause that. No new agents. So we're talking to all experienced folks today. Okay. So you'll see a lot of branding on here as well by the company or the organization that I work with. My real estate license is held with Keller Williams Realty at Greater Athens. I absolutely adore my brokerage. I'm also partnered with a platform called Powered by Place. So if you ever have any questions about that, just let me know. But you'll see a lot of our branding on all of this. So most of you chose real estate for various reasons. And everybody comes into it for a slightly different reason. However, if you really dig in, they all got in for the same reason. And it's either owning your own business versus having a job, no income limit, right? Some of you said, man, I hit a cap wherever I was, and I really wanted to make more money in relationship to the work. And many of you got into it for a flexible schedule. It could be that you have kids or another career, or you just wanted more flexibility to travel or anything like that. And that attracts a lot of people to real estate are those three main things. Curious from everybody in the group, will you throw into chat, why'd you get into real estate? Hopefully I can see my own chat. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Thank you, Rachel. Flexibility and be my own boss. 100%, Tim. Help others in real estate, left retail management to have control over my schedule for my kids, bought my first home, and I decided I could do better, create a better experience, and looking for a new career with flexibility and to help me with my kids more, having the flexibility and be there. And Kay has the whole group there. Awesome. Flexibility for Deanna, flexibility. I'm not licensed. I'm looking to get into real estate. Awesome. Michael, we'll get you some information here at the end of that. Carrie, multiple streams of income. Love it, love it, love it. This is very common. So I tell people this because it's funny and because it's true. You guys might look at me sometimes and you go, maybe I can't do what she does. She's different. She's whatever. Do you guys know that I got into real estate because my mom offered to pay for the class? That was it. That was the big motivating, like shining moment of my life was my mom said, gosh, you'd be good at real estate if you just would get your license. I'll pay for the class. And I said no for like 6 months until I found a class. And I said, do you still think you would do this? Would you still pay for it? She said, yeah. And so I registered. And I've never looked back. It wasn't my idea. I didn't have a passion for this. I didn't even own a house. I had no idea about owning a house yet. Like, there was no calling. There was nothing. So if I can build what I've built without having all those reasons, and you guys had even more drive and more reason and more purpose when you got into real estate, I feel like if I can do it, you can, for sure. So I put a couple of my credentials up here, even though I've already told you about them. Our team sells about $50 million in real estate. We're an MREA team, which if you're not familiar with that, that's a millionaire real estate agent team. We gross more than $1 million every year. It's a huge blessing, and it was hard work, and it continues to be hard work to maintain it, but we're very proud of it. And Georgia Legacy Management, which I started with one of my best friends, has grown over the past 6 years to over 240 doors. I'm very, very, very grateful for that business as well. And my passion is coaching, teaching, and building up great realtors. I've actually been a coach for Keller Williams for 6 years, and I no longer coach anybody that's off of our team, but I do teach free classes like this one. And so I put all this together so that you know that you have somebody with a track record that's teaching you what to do in this shifting market. And I look really good in that photo, so I like to share it. So I can tell you guys, what are the things that I would encourage you to do in your business? This is a really great time of year to be thinking about what is it that I want to accomplish in 2023. It's likely it's going to be different. It's going to be harder. Even just to maintain the same amount of business is probably going to require something different of you. And it's time for you to sit back a little bit, have some quiet time with yourself. For me, I actually have to book time with myself because I don't slow down very naturally. And really think about, what is it? Why am I here? What am I doing in this real estate career? I've put up our team's vision, mission, and values so that you have an example. You can steal these, you can borrow these, you can take them and redraft them and change them to whatever you want. And you could have the same goals, you could have the same vision, the same mission, the same values. But one of ours is delivering the dream of home ownership everywhere. No matter how many homes we sell, every single piece of real estate that we sell is important to us because that's somebody living the American dream of being able to own their own home, develop their own wealth, and have a place that they can call home that's theirs. And when they're buying investment properties and things like that, they're building their wealth or their income. Real estate is a huge tool inside of, all across the world, but especially in America. And we're really proud to offer it. So that's our job every day, is to deliver the dream of home ownership and never forget that it's a true dream. And then you look at our mission. Our mission every day, first and foremost, is to win in business. Because if we can't win in business, then we can't make money. If we can't make money, then we can't give to others. And if we can't give to others, we can't live experientially and do good. we have to start with win in business, which is what I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about today. And it's what it looks like to win in business today is going to change for what it's going to look like next year and in the coming months. And when you think about your values, be thinking about your values, because it's important for you to know who you are, who your values are, what your values are, so that you know who else to align yourself with. How do you choose a property inspector? How do you choose a lender? How do you choose whenever you've sold enough homes that it's time for you to hire an assistant or partner with somebody? How do you decide who you're going to move forward in life with? Because nobody succeeds alone. It's important to think about what your values are. And again, all of this is fair game. You want to steal our stuff, steal it away. We give it away freely. And so the success of our business will be determined by our ability to maintain, and our acronym is growth, grit, results, only leaders, wealth, teamwork, and humility. And if you have met anybody on my team, I hope that you see one or all of these traits. This is something that we hire to and partner with very seriously, because we love hard workers, but we don't want arrogance, right? There's a difference between confidence and arrogance, and it's that special word down at the end, humility. And you can have really strong leaders that get results and get stuff done, but still help. And they reach back and lift the people up behind them. So what's the issue, guys? You get into real estate and you get your license for the 3 reasons we mainly talked about: to be your own boss, to have unlimited income, and to have a flexible schedule. But the problem is you can only choose one. Maybe 2. You cannot have that unlimited income if you're 100% your own boss and 100% on a flexible schedule, because we don't tap into our greatness, right? A lot of people choose that flexible schedule over the income. And in order to get to the income that most people want, which it's a magic number. Whenever I sit down with agents all the time, I say, well, what's your goal? I want to make 6 figures, right? I want to make $100,000. And the reason is because they never have before, right? And yet, because it's usually because they're not willing to show up in a way that allows them to do that. If you guys are already making 6 figures, then now double your number, right? How do you get to the next level in your business? So the major issue is the average realtor works about a 35-hour work week, and sometimes it's bleeding over into other things. And the average realtor with 16 years of experience is making about $85,000. I can actually attest to this. I look at what's called profit and loss statements all the time. So even if somebody is running a big business, they're not netting all of that money, right? They have expenses, they have marketing, they have signs and lock boxes and fuel and food and technology and all of the things, photography for their listings. They're not netting every dollar that they make. They're grossing a great number, but what they're netting, if they've been in it about 16 years, the average person is making $85,000. The average realtor with 1 to 2 years experience is making $8,800. That's a problem. That's a problem. That means they're not going to be in this very long, because not a lot of us could pay even, our rent payments right now, especially with inflation. You probably couldn't even buy your groceries for the whole year for this $8,800. They're using this as a bonus, right? They're working another job. They're working hourly. They're using that as a bonus. And so it's not really turning into a career for them. My mission would be to find the people that we really want in real estate, and we want them to be here. They have great work ethic. They love their clients. They have morals and values, and we want more of them, and we want them here full time, because that creates a better environment for our clients to operate, for us as realtors to operate. We want people in this other category that are making a sizable income and they're fully committed to it. The way to get there faster is through mindset, skill, and work ethic. So let's talk about this. Nobody ever breaks this down for people. In our market right now, the average price point is about $300,000. If the commission is $9,000, I'm doing math quickly, but track with me here. That means you really need to sell about 23 homes in our market, in North Georgia, in order to, on my team, to make the money to make $100,000. Now I bump it up and say, okay, let's round up to 24 because we've got 12 months in the year and let's do 2 a month, right? Well, nobody ever really walks people through, how do I get there? And this is a great time for you guys to start thinking about business planning with either your broker or your coach or somebody that you can lean on. If you're going to do 24 deals, that means we need to find 12 buyers and 12 sellers that are going to close. And if we're going to find 12 buyers and 12 sellers that are going to close, we actually need to put under, we need to get 24 buyers to sign an agreement to work with us. And we need 24 sellers in the year to sign an agreement to work with us. That's already up to 4. So every week you would need to be finding one person that wants to do business with you, that's thinking about buying or selling. And if you have an average conversion rate, you'll need to do double that in appointments, right? So you go on the appointments, then you take the listing or the buyer, then you go out and you start shopping for a home or you start marketing the house. Well, now we're at 8 appointments a month. That means every week you need to have 2 appointments with new people. Every month you need to have 8. All in order to close 24 deals. Now, those numbers they'll either seem high or low depending on who you are and how much experience you have in real estate. But the reality is, it doesn't matter what the number is. What matters is what are the activities that you're doing that lead you to those numbers, because you cannot just show up today and wave to people on the street and hope somebody brings you a listing, right? You have to go out and find it. That's the number one lesson that everybody learns in real estate is they thought they were going to get their license, tell their friends on Facebook, and then suddenly they were going to be, drowning in business because they have so many friends. And what really happens is they have to go out there and hunt and go find the deals and convince people to work with them and earn their business and then prove to them that you did a good job and then earn referrals from that person. Then after you've been doing it for about a year, then your friends and family start trusting you because they go, okay, they're figuring it out on all the other people. Maybe I can trust them now. It took me 3 years to get any business from my family. 3 years. And then my first deal was with my dad and he didn't pay me anything. So that was fun, right? So we're not counting on our friends and family. We've got to go out and hunt this business if we really want it. Go find it. So let's talk about that. Where do we get the business? I'm going to show you our lead generation model. That's what we call it here. In my opinion, a healthy business has multiple sources of leads. Just like Carrie was talking about in the chat earlier, Carrie said, I got into real estate so I could have multiple streams of income. Well, people want multiple streams of income because they want a sense of security. And if one stream of income starts to fail, you've got another stream of income that starts working. It's the same philosophy in how you lead generate for your business. Now, each one of these pieces is a leg of your business or can be a leg of your business. And you have to start where you are. Where you are might be where I said you posted on Facebook once and you really were hoping everybody would get a clue after that, and they didn't. That might be where you're starting. Or you might be years into this career and maybe you're doing some of these at like a level 2 out of 5 or even a 5 out of 5, and it's time to add something else. Each of you is in a different place. So we always start with sphere of influence. So if you see where my mouse is circling right there, sphere at the top. Sphere is a fancy word for the people you know and like and who know you. These are the people that we do business with, we exchange money with, the people that work at the vet clinic where you take your animals, the people that work at the pediatrician where you take your kids, or the nurses at the Botox clinic. If you get Botox, I don't care what the place is that you're going to, these people you interact with and exchange money with all the time are your sphere of influence. These are your people. And so that's one place to get business. And I'm going to go counterclockwise on this image. Another huge source of business for us, and if you watch us on social media, you might know this, is open houses. There's a lot of real estate agents out there that do not hold open houses because they don't know how. They think that you just put the sign in the yard, throw some balloons out, buy some water and some food, and people will show up. No, there's a whole strategic marketing plan around open houses that can take the business to the next level and create sellers and buyers for you off of just one open house. Prospecting. Prospecting is the act of outbound calling, mailing, face-to-face contact, etc. So prospecting is outbound, you're reaching out. You're not waiting for them to come to you. And so prospecting might look like letters or door knocking to owner occupied homes. It might be letters to non-owner occupied homes. It might be calling all of the for sale by owners that are listed on Zillow. It might be using a data service like Vulcan 7 to pull expired listings, and you call expired listings, or using something like Vulcan 7 to pull a radius around a house and say, I'm going to call all these houses around this house. And I'm going to start at the other side, internet leads. Internet is huge for us these days, but I will say internet is a lot harder to convert than any of the first three that I've talked to you guys about. Internet leads tend to start on the internet, and they go and they search for houses, and they get online months before they're actually ready, if not sometimes years. And then they like to hide behind the keyboard, just like a lot of people in our Facebook groups and things like that do. I'm showing my age by only talking about Facebook. I don't do any of the other stuff, but you guys can, I'm sure, draw some extra conclusions there. But they start and they hide behind that computer. And sometimes when you're reaching out to them, they're really hard to get a hold of. Or once you do get a hold of them, they're not quite ready yet. So it's a long-term game. So internet leads can be purchased. You can pay per click. You can pay per registration. There's lots of different ways that you can do that. And you can have people that land on your website, see something of value, and give you their contact information. But then there's going to be quite a bit of work for you to do to follow up with them and to build that pipeline. Listing leads, I call those sign calls, right? When you take a listing and you put the sign out there and you do appropriate marketing, eventually people will call you. Now your job is to figure out how to convert the people that call you, because they don't always say, hey, I saw your sign. Can you come sell my house or come help represent me? What they do is they say, hey, how much is this house? And then you have to take it from there. So you have to know what to say, how to say it, and how to convert that business. Some businesses have what's called an ISA, which is somebody who is prospecting and following up with leads and setting appointments for you. I usually plug into this category referrals. One of the things that I've done really particularly well in my career has been building relationships with other real estate agents across the country. And so when I have real estate agents across the country and they have a referral for my area, they go, hey, Brittany, do you cover this area in Georgia? And I'm able to say yes and get them to work with one of our agents. So this would be a well-rounded business, well-rounded, right? That's why it's in a circle. However, you might need to work on one or two of these to start, right? You might be doing okay with your sphere of influence, but you might want to also add open houses, because maybe your sphere is not working for you right now. Maybe it's just not turning out enough business for you right now. So I wanted to bring to you guys a philosophy. I'm sorry that the screenshot is terrible. I did my best. And this is a philosophy that I'm a big fan of. And if you know how to take a screenshot on your computer, please take a screenshot of this. This is really important. And it's been a huge piece of my life and growing my life, my business, and other categories of my life as well. If you look This is called the E to P graph. E stands for entrepreneurial. P stands for purposeful. Entrepreneurial means doing what comes naturally. Most of you are probably doing what comes naturally to you right now. You get up, you have drive, you have enthusiasm, you have good intuition, you have natural behavior. Maybe people like you, maybe you like people, whatever comes to you comes to you. If you're having a bad day, you're just going to stay in. If you're having a good day, you're going to go out, you're going to get great results. And what's going to happen is you're going to build your business up to a certain level. And then you're going to do what we call hit a ceiling, because you're working on your natural tendencies, your natural capabilities. You're going on just your willpower and your drive and what comes natural to you. Everybody has a ceiling. My personal ceiling of achievement was 30 homes in a year. That's my personal ceiling of achievement before I hit that wall, right? Here's the ceiling of achievement. And here's the thing to watch for, guys. If you are, especially if you've already been in this career for 2 or more years, this is really important to look at. You've probably felt these feelings before. You hit the ceiling, and the first thing that you feel is disappointment. Disappointment. Some of us go to frustration, whatever the word is for you. You're not happy, right? And then we go into what's called resignation, kind of giving up. I'm so tired. I don't know if I can do this anymore. I'm going to give it my best. And that energy starts to wane and wane and wane until one day somebody says, man, you've been great at real estate. You should try selling mortgages or insurance or helicopters or whatever the hell else you can sell and make commission on. And you go into what's called greener pastures. You guys will see this a lot in real estate. You'll see somebody that came in, did a good job in real estate, and then they moved careers, and now they're a mortgage loan officer, and then they're an insurance person, and then they're going to go do this job, and then this job, and they change and change and change, because what's happening is they're hitting their own natural ceiling of achievement, usually within about 3 to 5 years, depending on the person. And then they get bored, or they go through this process where they get disappointed because they can't get to the next level. They get tired, resignation, and then they go on to greener pastures and do something else. There's an alternative, though. The alternative is breaking through and pursuing a philosophy of mine called being purposeful. This, by the way, this whole philosophy comes from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and it's also in the book, The One Thing, both by Gary Keller. So if you want to delve into it deeper, you're more than welcome to. I just wanted to bring you the principle today. Being purposeful means doing what comes unnaturally, which means it's going to feel awkward. So it's going to feel different. It's going to feel weird. It's going to take more of your energy. You might be more tired at first because you're using more purposeful style. You're going to feel like some days you go, why are we doing this? And I don't want to do this. I'm out of energy today, and all of the above. The purposeful style, if you look at it, we're going to dig into this in just a second, requires you first to have focus, then strategic options, models, systems, and the best but not least, accountability. The reason is because you're doing stuff that comes unnaturally to you. Like, I'm not a fast runner. If I wanted to be a fast runner, I would need to get purposeful. I need to hire a coach or a trainer that understood my goals, had some strategic options to help me become stronger, faster, more of a running athlete. There would probably be models and systems that they'd be following to take me up through their training program and help me get there. And there would be some system of accountability to go. But right now, my entrepreneurial ceiling for running is non-existent. I don't run. It doesn't feel good. I do other things, right? But if it became important to me and I set a goal to maybe run a 5K or something like that, then I would need to get purposeful in my approach. The reason I pull outside of business examples is because it's really important for you to understand this is every part of your life. Every part. I mean, this is your financial world. This is your wealth building, your debt paying off. This is your health. Are you trying to put on muscle, reduce fat, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you can go from E to P in the process. So I want to dig into them for just a second here. Focus is, what in the world are we doing? What's our goal? What are we trying to accomplish? Where are we going to? Because, Alice asked the Cheshire Cat, which way do I go? Which way do I go? And she said, he asked her, well, where are you heading to? And she said, I don't know. And he says, then it doesn't matter which way you go, right? So if you don't know where you're going, all the options are available and any of them are equal. But if you know where you're going, first and foremost, it gives you a lot of clarity on how to make decisions and how to make choices after that. So first, what are you going to accomplish? So if you're talking about your real estate business next year, is your goal to make the same amount of money that you made this year? Is your goal to make more? Is your goal to work the same number of hours, more hours, less hours? Is your goal to travel? What in the world are we doing here? What are we trying to create? That's something you want to get a lot of clarity on. Then strategic options. It's not just options, it's strategic options. So I ask myself often, is that the path that you want to take and is it proven? So somebody gets up on stage or teaches a class and they say, I know how to make you $1 million selling widgets and, blah, blah, blah. Well, if I don't want to sell those widgets or I don't want to live the life that that person has, then I'm not going to listen and implement that person's model. So I've got to go find somebody else. Then once you've found the path that you want to take and you've found some people that are already doing it, then we start looking for what we call models. It's worked for somebody else. All my women in here are probably familiar with the terms Weight Watchers, I'm trying to think, Jenny Craig, that was a big one in like the 90s. And then right now, Optavia. These are models. Guys, this is a proven system. It worked for somebody else. It may or may not work for you. There's lots of different models. If you're a runner, you may be familiar with Couch to 5K. It's like an app, it's a program, it's a training model to get you from the couch to the 5K. Are you looking for the models in your business that help guide you to get where you want to go? Now, inside of those models, we have systems. Another way to phrase systems is checklists. They are repeatable, they're duplicatable, they are a way of doing something that you do more than 2 times a year. So if you're a real estate agent, one of your best systems is the script for answering the phone. What do you say? Then when you're talking to a buyer, what do you say next? Do you have a buyer pre-qualification script? That's a system. When you go on a buyer appointment, do you have a buyer consultation script? It should be, you're doing it more than 2 times a year. You need to have these things documented and in place. They're your systems. And then accountability. I can't tell you enough about accountability. And there's a book that I put in here as a recommendation. It's called The 4 Tendencies. We're talking a lot about it on our team right now. It's about understanding how are you motivated and how do you hold yourself accountable to the things that are important to you, and understanding who you are will help you set that up. Some of you need to have like a team or a group, right? You need, if you're going to run a 5K or you're going to go take 10 listings, you need a group of people that's going to go do the same thing with you. And you guys are going to show up together and do it together. Some of you, the idea of that makes you want to like stick toothpicks in your eyeballs. So you don't need a group, and we want little to nothing to do with a group. And so it's important to understand who you are and what type of accountability that you need in order to hit your goals. I see something in the chat. All right. You're good, Lori. She's just... Okay, so how should you prepare? If you're starting from right now, how should you prepare? We've got one person on that's thinking about getting their real estate license. We've got some newbies in here. We've got some seasoned agents in this group. Number one is to prepare financially. And to me, preparing financially means getting your expenses as low as possible in your personal life. And I prefer that agents that partner with us have a nest egg, like either they have a backup Sometimes they're living with somebody that is their backup. Could be a spouse, could be a significant other, could be a family member. And I prefer that they have about 3 months of their expenses saved up in a savings account so that they can buy themselves the time to get the real estate under contract from the activities that they're doing. So whenever you do an activity in real estate, if I do an activity today, it's likely going to lead to results or a check to get deposited about 60 to 90 days from now. So I need to buy myself time so that I'm not stressed and I can focus on what I need to focus on. And I know that my bills are going to be paid in the meantime. This is the piece right here. The second bullet point is the biggest piece I see people miss all the time. When people partner with us and join our team, they have to, like before day one, they have to build their own database. They get a spreadsheet with 200, it actually has more than 200 blanks, but they have to put a minimum of 200 people in. Their name, address, phone number, email, birthday. 200 people. And I'm in another coaching program for another project, and the requirements to graduate is that I have to have 1,000 people in my database. So guys, database is everything when it comes to your business. You probably already heard that, but I'm going to reiterate that my database now for a team that does, 250 transactions a year, our database is like 13,000 people and growing. If you're going to build a big business, it starts with having a database. Otherwise, there's nothing to build off of. If you are new to the area, you're a transplant here, then you might build a list of names over the course of a couple of months by going out and meeting people, by prospecting people you don't know, by door knocking in the neighborhood. And then when you meet somebody, you get their contact information and you put them in your database and you follow up with them. So if you're not from the area, it's still possible, or you can pay for leads. That's an option too. You can pull out of your savings and you can pay for leads and you can add people to your database that way. So there's lots of different ways. But if you really want a great career, it's time to do that. If you've been doing this for a while and your database is not all in one place, make that your goal between now and Christmas. Say, you know what? This is the foundation, and I'm going back to the foundation of what makes us great in this career. And I'm going to make sure that my database is in one place. The next thing is to prepare to commit to habits and a routine. We've been having this conversation a lot lately on our team, is that intensity never wins. So the person who's willing to come in once a month and like make a bajillion calls and they called all day and they did a great job is not going to have the same success level as the person who comes in every day and just makes 10 calls. Just 10. That person with consistency is going to win every time. So we've been talking a lot about, okay, we all have good weeks. We all have bad weeks. We all have weeks where crap comes up. We have weeks where we get sick. We have weeks where our kids get sick, whatever it is. What I've asked our team to start thinking about is think about your goals and what are the habits and the routine that would support those goals. And then what's your minimum commitment on your toughest week, your hardest week? Say you can't show up 5 times this week. What if you could show up once? What would you do? What's the absolute minimum on a really crappy week that you'd be willing to do, and that commitment that you'd be willing to keep? Because it's going to be consistency that wins. It's not going to be the person that goes, I haven't made calls all month, so now I need to catch up. The person who's going to win is going to be the person who just calls a few of them every day, every day, every day, every day. And be prepared to track. If you do not have something called a CRM, which is a customer relationship manager, you need to get one. If you work at most brokerages, they offer one. And I always say the best one is the one that you use. Your people need to be in some type of database where you can take notes on your last conversation. You can see what are the last conversations you had with them. You can send out information that's valuable to them. Information that's valuable to them is either homes that are coming on the market that are near them or market reports. They don't want your recipe cards. I promise. You don't want them to remember you for grandma's casserole. You want them to remember you for being the local economist of choice, and that they come to you when they have real estate questions. Okay. They don't need your recipes. I love you. I love your recipes. I love cooking. I love eating. They don't need your recipes. They need personal relationship, and they need you to be keeping them abreast of what's happening in the market. So this message actually came from Gary Keller himself at the Inman conference last week. And what he said is, going into this market, at minimum, 50% of your day needs to be spent talking to people, period. You are going to be asking them, what are their real estate goals over the next 3 to 5 years? You're going to be documenting that. And then you need to be paying attention to how many people are you actually adding to your database. And they gave me the example this morning and said, if you hold an open house and 10 people come, but 2 people filled out the registration and gave you their contact information, then you had a 2-person open house. You did not have a 10-person open house. You had a 2-person open house because 2 people gave you their contact information. So that's how many people you added to your database. And that is inching forward. There's nothing wrong with that. And I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that it only counts if you're adding them to your database and building your business in that way. Then we need to be asking ourselves, do we have valuable marketing to send them? It's not going to be recipe cards. It's going to be touches that have to do with you being the local economist of choice to help them make smart decisions with their real estate. And that this is for me, this is a personal note for me at the bottom. I bet many of you need it as well, is, do you have these touches scheduled? I actually have to put on my calendar, this is the day you're going to call these people and you're going to talk about blank, because I run wide open like the rest of you do. And I forget. I just forget. I forget what conversation I had last. I forget what we're going to do next. I just get going too fast. And so putting these things on your schedule is very important. I think the next slide is about a schedule. Yes. So here's the sample perfect week of a real estate agent. They come in at 8 a.m. They're going to prepare for lead generation, and they are going to lead generate, either make calls, door knock, email people, Facebook message people, whatever people do on Twitter and TikTok and things like that. But you're talking to people and you're talking to them directly and one-on-one about their real estate goals. You're going to do that from 8:30 to 10:30. And it's imperative that you take a break. About every 2 hours, every human needs a break. You might need one at an hour and a half when you first get started, but power through it, for a certain amount of time, then take your break. Then it's time for lead gen follow-up, right? Lead generate means you're going out and creating new business. And then lead gen follow-up is following up with anything you created. So say somebody early in the morning gives me a referral and they say, you can call my friend tomorrow. They said you can give them a call, but they're working today. Then I'm going to put in tomorrow, Tuesday's lead gen follow-up, that yellow part. I'm going to put in there that I can follow up with that person, because the next morning I'm going out and generating more business. Now, you need a lunch, because if you're going to work this hard, you need a lunch, guys. You need to take a break and clear your mind, clear the space, read a book, just eat in silence. I don't care what you do, but you need a break because you're working intentionally. And then in the afternoon, you have from 1:30 to about 3:30, you can have open appointments. I used to put on my calendar 1:30, 3:30, and 2 5:30 appointments every week. Those were my appointment times that people could book a listing appointment with me. And then as you're wrapping up your day, you're tracking, follow up, you return emails and phone calls, and you head out. Now, raise your hand or put a little comment in the chat if you look at this and go, holy crap, my week looks nothing like this. What time is it? 11:14. Nobody? There we go. Now I see some hands. So here's my suggestion. As a coach, of my team members and formerly for other top agents across the country, This is the ideal, but if you are starting from ground zero, you have to start somewhere. So let's use this as our model, right? Say this is our marathon runner, and we are learning couch to 5K. So if you're going to get there, what I would recommend is start out by maybe 3 days a week, or even just start tomorrow, one day, just one day in a row, right? That's all it really takes. Lead generate for 1 hour, just 1 hour. Call the people that you need to call the people that you forgot to call, reach out to the past clients that you have, or if you don't have past clients yet, call the people that you should be calling, right? 1 hour. Some of us, we need to see that this is an ideal calendar, but we also need permission to say, I can start where I am. I could just start tomorrow, and from 9 to 10, I'm going to call, I don't know, for sale by owners. I'm going to call everyone that I can find in Zillow in this zip code. And that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to, take a walk afterwards because it'll be the most intense hour you've spent so far. Yay! Celebrate that. That would be like me getting off the couch and going and taking a 20-minute walk on the treadmill. Okay. So we got to start somewhere and then use this as your ideal. But I will say, the number one pattern for success for top people is that they get their most important things done in the morning. And their most important things are lead generation, lead follow-up, and negotiating contracts. It's not checking email. It's not checking social media. It's not dealing with a lender that's gone off the rails. It's not any of those things. It's generating business. Get it done before 11 o'clock every day, and you'll start to feel a lot better about your business. And yeah, Greg, I can't tell you how much I agree with you. He says, with this crazy market, our scheduling changed. This is a good reminder that we need to get back to this. I've said the same thing. I used to be religious in this, and then the market kind of got a little squirrely and a little chaotic. And then there was COVID, and there was so much. Even I got off track. Even I am having to get back to, okay, where in your schedule have you blocked the time for the most important things? So even the top performers have gotten off track, and the middle of the road performers and the newbies. So it's just time for us to return back to the fundamentals. And then here's a good example before I switch off of this screen. It looks like this person on their ideal schedule is going to be holding an open house on Saturday. Well, guess what? Most of their Friday is spent door knocking and circle prospecting for that open house to generate more buyers and sellers, right? So they're leveraging an open house for the opportunity to create more business. So you're probably wondering, what activities do I do? How do I know which activities? How do I know when to do them? What if I don't have client meetings scheduled? What do I do with my afternoon? How do I find an open house? What technology systems will I need? If you are not licensed at all, these are questions you need to be talking to the potential broker that you're thinking about getting into business with. Or if you're considering working on a team, you need to be talking to them. How will I know what activities to do and when? What do I do if I have client meetings? How do I manage my time? Or how do you expect me to manage my time? And how do I find things like open houses, and what technology and systems will I need to succeed? Hopefully your brokerages, for those of you who are licensed real estate agents and you're in doing this, if you're asking these questions, maybe it's time to do some business planning, take some classes, maybe come and take something from me, and because we're doing some business planning classes coming up as well. And really understanding, okay, if I say I want to add open houses to my business, what does a great open house look like? You've got to go take a class and understand from somebody what it looks like. People ask me all the time, should I join a team? The answer is, I don't know. It depends on you, depends on what your goals are. It depends on where you were at in real estate. And it also depends on the team that you're interviewing with, because it just depends, right? The business equals its people and the leadership and the mission and the vision and all of the things. And you might go and interview with 3 different teams and get 3 completely different scenarios. So I don't know if you should join a team or not, but if you ever have the question, I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. So people partner with us for a couple of reasons. So, if you're asking yourself, why in the world would somebody join a team? We've had people that already had teams join us. We've had brand new people join us. We've had people that are like middle of the road selling like 40, 50 houses a year that partner with us. And there's a couple different reasons. And number one, that they might join a team is low to no expenses. We take all of their expenses off of their plate, right? Our business has expenses of around $44,000 a month. That's stuff that our people just get to come in and tap into. So what they earn on their check is what they keep. They don't have to go worry about marketing and technology, supplies, photography, lead gen, training, coaching, et cetera. We take care of all of it. We also, and I know this is going to be different with every team, our agents tend to do more business. We have expert training, we have technology, systems, leads, accountability, coaching. We're very productivity minded. Our job is 100% to keep people in productivity because we want you to make money, get you there, and we're partnered with you in getting there. So our agents, while the average agent closes like 1 or 2 deals a year, our average agents close between 24 to 75 homes in their first year. So it's just very different, very different. So if that's something that somebody's interested in. We also use a lot of systems to make the ordinary extraordinary. We give our agents back more time. We've had a couple of seasoned agents join our organization, and because we have a support team that takes off their paperwork and their systems creation and their marketing and all of the stuff that they were spending a lot of time on, they get their time back and they get to either spend that time with their family or they get to spend that time with, more clients. They can go create more business. They can do more business, or they can spend more time doing what they love to do. And the next biggest one is opportunity. Our team is unique in this aspect. There's not a lot of other teams out there, but people can grow a team within our team if they ever want to. And that's why one of the top teams in Athens, the Hayes Group, actually partnered with us, is to accelerate their growth and to get them where they want to go faster. And we're big fans of that. We have an agent launch program too, by the way, that's 90 days long, and it's all productivity based. It's scripts. It's what do you do? How do you do it? What do you say? How do you say it? What does your schedule need to look like? How do you use the technology? All of those things. So being able to crunch that into a 90-day span really helps people focus on what they need to focus on in order to get the business. And that is an accountability system like we talked about. And for those who are interested, we have benefits beyond business, not just putting more money in your pocket. We also have companies subsidized health insurance. We offer revenue share, which means if you help grow the company, you can get a piece of the pie. We offer lots of wealth building opportunities, not only teaching you how to do it, but we'll partner with you on buying your investment properties. And we've also have an equity purchase plan for stock in place. So we've got lots of benefits here that kind of parallel to many of the organizations that you would work for and have like a salary or an hourly wage. And if you are already licensed, you can ignore this slide. But if you are not licensed, the first thing to do is to make sure that you get your real estate license. You have to go through pre-licensing. It's a 75-hour course. We have in-person ones and we have online ones that you can do. We do offer some scholarships. You just need to talk to me to talk through it. And then once you pass your exams and pass your state final exam, the next thing to do is to get a broker sponsorship. And then we walk you through the rest, like getting you, being partnered with MLS and the Board of Realtors, getting a lockbox key and all that other fun stuff, but we'll get you there. But the first thing you have to do is 75 hours. Key takeaways for your 6-figure journey for you guys to think about: what do I need to do to net the most amount of money Make sure that you're paying attention to your vision, your mission, your values, so that you're aligning yourself with the right people, the right brokerage, the right activities, the right trainers, the right lenders, the right inspectors, all of the above, to help make this journey as smooth and fast as possible. Continue to develop your mindset, your skills, and your work ethic. Every single week, you should have something like this class that I taught on your schedule to help you sharpen your iron, right? And get better and better at what you do. And number 3, operate with a business plan. Now is the time to draft your business plan for next year. And I've got samples if you want some, but definitely attend some business planning classes, because operating from a plan is instrumental. It's paramount to you achieving your goals. Not only just setting the goal, articulating the goal, writing the goal, and the vision board, all that's beautiful and wonderful, but we need a plan to execute, right? We need a plan to GSD, get stuff done. So making sure that you have a plan for how to get there. And at the very least, you could do a lot of things wrong in the real estate business, but if you do these things, you'll succeed. And that's say the right things, say it enough times, and have enough people to say it to. So building that database and talking to people and understanding what to say is incredibly important. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Many of you know how to get in touch with me. As we wrap up here, I've got 4 minutes. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I just appreciate your time.
Oh, okay.
And I just wonder, will we be able to get these slides? I missed some of the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think I could get the recording out as long as I didn't screw that part up. I'll get the recording out and I will pull the slides together for you too.
And I love your wealth of knowledge. Wonderful.
Julian, our split is 50-50. We do 50-50 on everything. We're partners in everything. And I do the same thing with Place. I partner with Place. That's my partners with Place Incorporated, and I split my profit 50-50 as well.
Hey, Brittany, we have 6 people here in the training room today and wanted to say thanks. I asked them if they have questions, but I think most of it's been answered and we'll have more to talk about once we end your video. But thank you so much for all the information and the slideshow. And I would love to be able to share that with some of the ones that couldn't make it today. So if you could email that to me, that would be super.
Got it.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else? You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate you showing up live and in person. And I love teaching. I'm sure you figured that out by now. Some of you have been to multiple classes and all that stuff. It's really my joy. And if I can help you in any way, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, find me on social media, Facebook, because I don't do anything else. But if you need me, I'm here for you. And it doesn't matter what brokerage you're at, what team you're on or anything, I'm here to help. So you guys have a phenomenal day.